Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Full of personality. Switching up the storyline on God, we making history.
Writing books, changing lives, one day at a time. Put your problems to the side. Enjoy yourself. Free your mind.
Kicking it with KeKe.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and all that other shit. I am your host, author Kiki Chanel, as well as certified life coach and host of Kicking It with KeKe. The overall theme for Kicking It with KeKe is all about mindset and personal development. When we operate as our highest self, we go through life more abundantly. That is the overall theme for the podcast. Y'all know how I do. I like to give my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to her. Welcome, and thank you for coming to kick it with me. Go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited. My name is Jolanda, and I am the CEO of Beartha. Beartha is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based out of North Carolina, Cary, North Carolina. What we do is we promote health and wellness for people and animals through community support and resources. We do that by feeding the individuals each day. We do pet food and vegan goodie bags in the morning, and then whatever's left over, we go back out in the afternoon to make sure it's handed out. As well as we do health and wellness discussions once a month. And that's what we're doing right now. We got a few things in the works, but that's primarily what we do.
I love that. So before we get into all things of Bertha, we're going to talk about mindset and personal development for a minute. I always ask my guests about those two particular things because that is the overall theme for Kicking It with Kiki. So when it comes to mindset, what are some of the things that comes to mind for you?
Mindset is being able to have self-awareness with self. I've these past few months kind of been a lot of like self-reflection and seeing how I self-limit myself. We have a lot of discussions pertaining that, and I kind of was like, it's so easy to be able to point the finger at other people and say, well, this person's doing this person. But when we go and point the finger at ourselves, we're like, okay, wait, I kind of do some of those things too. So it's like, how
Mhm.
can I just get better at working on myself rather than being so crucial on to someone else.
I love that. We have to work on self, man. And it all starts with the mind. How you think is how you move. And a
Absolutely.
lot of people don't understand that. All right, so I love that explanation of what you think about mindset. When it comes to personal development, I know they go hand in hand, but what can you tell the listeners that helps you develop yourself personally? Like uh what is personal development for you?
Yes, I would definitely say having compassion when making mistakes has been a really big one for me. And then also setting intentions. What does my
Mhm.
daily intentions look like from what I consume to people that I surround myself with to just overall what I'm watching, eating. So, and that's also, that kind of goes hand in hand just with like the organization too, because we want people to feel good with what they're eating and also feel like they have a safe space with the community that we offer.
Absolutely. So that brings us to today's topic is how are you feeling? That is the topic for today.
Yes,
Eh,
I feel thankful. I feel
Me
thankful.
too. I always have, well, I'm grateful. I always wake up with an attitude of gratitude because, somebody didn't get the opportunity to experience a new day. So when
Yeah.
I think about I am still here, I'm more intentional about the way that I move in my life. I'm more mindful of the things that I love and the things that are around me. And I just move with intention. Like you said, you have to be intentional. So,
Yes.
how are you feeling? That is a question that a lot of us need to just take self inventory. And I love that you said self limiting because we can become our worst critic and
Mhm.
downplay a lot, self sabotage, and all of the things. So, how do you stay positive when it comes to making sure that you're always feeling in a good space. And we already know that there are going to be some good days and bad days, but we're talking about positivity right now.
Yes, it's definitely finding time for self and doing something that my inner child would enjoy. I find myself like with a busy schedule and in between, I might eat my favorite food or I might do a dance that I used to do when I was little, or even so simple as watching a SpongeBob episode, just something that makes my inner child happy and trying something new, or trying to get out of my comfort zone as well.
Right, absolutely. And I love that. And I did a juicing challenge at the beginning of the year. And one of the things that we had to do is go in and discover our inner child. It was called Healing Their Inner Child. And I learned so much from my 5-year-old self by doing those guided meditations. And I'm a better person from it. It's like I needed reassurance from her. And I'm like, dang, I should have been reassuring her, but she was actually reassuring me. And that was a powerful thing. And I think more people should get into like guided meditation. But as far as the organization, tell us how it all got started. How did Beartha become in existence?
Yes, so Birth is actually my grandma's name.
Oh,
But we added a in there for Earth, so we can also include Earth because you know what? We live on Earth, we need to take care of Earth. And so my grandma always been like a big support system of whatever I enjoyed as a kid. And I used to bring in stray cats into the house and she kind of allowed me to continue that. And we would go to the ASPCA, we would get them cat food, we would get them spayed or neutered. And that was like always something that I enjoyed. And also like just helping the community. So I actually, Bertha was originally named Stay Possum. And because I wanted to go more on like the animal shelter aspect, but something kept saying like you have to help both people and animals. Like you have to do both. So a lot of people that we feed also have pets. So that kind of like intertwined. And then I was like,
yeah.
okay, grandma, like, all right, we're gonna change it to your name in honor of you. So that kind of like sums it up. I offer dog walking. I originally am from New York City and I used to offer dog walking there. And I'll see a lot of homeless people with pets. And that was before I decided to start the nonprofit to actually get it incorporated. But I would just help in any way that I could. I would just help. And moving to North Carolina, I realized that we still have the same issue as far as like just helping displaced individuals. So then I was like, okay, I need to go all in and actually start this up.
I love that because I'm an earth sign. So that right there just hit home for me. I love that. And then naming it after your grandmother. That is amazing. I love that. And I know you promote healthness and wellness for people and so pets and things like that. And y'all have things that supports the community through support and resources. So tell the listeners how they can support. Like where can they go and connect and support and offer donations and things like that for the organization?
Absolutely. I always say like just you being your best version of yourself, being the change that you want to see is like the perfect way to start, especially if you may not have some funds, and I understand, or just sharing as well. Our Instagram is Beartha919. So BEARTHA 919. So you can definitely keep up with posts. You can go to beartha.org and subscribe to our newsletter to be able to just keep up with what we're doing. If you're in North Carolina and you have canned goods or it's getting colder, so if you have any winter items that you want to donate, we actually are partnering up with Gotta Be Scotty's, which is a farmers market in Raleigh, and they are holding bins for us to be able to collect some items there. So if you have stuff, please donate. You can donate on Beartha.org. We have a Cash App, and that's Beartha. We have a Venmo, that's Beartha as well. And then also we host like different events that, we do charge occasionally. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But that's a great way to get out there, be with community, and just have some fun. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And all of this information will be included in the show notes, guys, so you don't have any excuse to not support. So no excuses, that we don't dwell in excuses. And we are all trying to make the world a better place. Y'all see my shirt said choose kindness.
That's right.
It wasn't on accident that I wore this shirt while we were doing this interview. So yes, we have to be kind to ourselves as well as others, and then just spread that so it becomes the new normal. We have so much going on in the world that's negative. Why not spread the positivity? And your organization is doing that. So Thank you so much for pouring into people and giving selflessly. We need more of that. All right. So, how are you feeling? What is something that you can ask or tell the listeners to help them figure out that question for themselves?
Mm, that's a great question. Oh, I would definitely say if you find yourself getting upset, at a problem or a person or whatever, and you're feeling upset, is to go inward instead of reacting. To ask
Mm,
yourself, like, why am I upset? Is it because this person is going against my boundary, or is it because I'm going against my own boundary? I
nice.
definitely feel like that's a great one to better understand how are you feeling and why is this causing you to have a reaction that's not positive.
Absolutely. And let's speak about how, like, I know you said that you are conscious about the things that you absorb, like you take in. That is so important. Let's
Mhm.
talk about that a little bit because sometimes, the foods that we eat, the shows that we watch, the music that we listen to can play a huge part in the way that we feel. So let's talk about that, being careful of the things that you absorb.
Yeah, so I have been vegan for 5 years. And I actually made that transition because in 2016, I was 220 pounds and I wanted to be able to kind of change my life. I always tell the story like I started dog walking and I couldn't run after, like, or play with the dog. I just felt very out of breath and I wanted to make a difference, but I didn't want to go work out at the gym. I was like, I don't want to sweat. I don't want to do this. This is just not for me. So changing my eating habits and walking, that actually really helped me be able to have a healthier lifestyle. And now looking at myself 5 years now, I'm definitely becoming like more of like a hippie where it's just like I just love being outdoors rather than kind of like being inside and having TV. I do watch, like I said, SpongeBob. I watch like old shows that I used to enjoy, but being able to just be intentional with what activities you intake in. Like I do a lot of like art and then gardening and then just trying to do things that I know can benefit myself, but also the community in the long run.
Absolutely. Listen, we have a lot in common because in 2016, I had surgery and I couldn't move around. So I got up to 236 pounds.
Mm,
And one day I looked in the mirror and was like, who is this person? What happened to KeKe? So I started walking and I
mm,
dropped like over 75 pounds and I've maintained it for the last couple of years. And I feel better, I feel lighter. And it was a lifestyle change. I had to change the things that I was consuming. I had to change the people that I surrounded myself with because some people will see you at your lowest and instead of coming to you in love and saying, hey, are you okay? You have picked up a lot of weight. Do you want to talk about it? What's going on? We don't know how to do that sometimes. So instead of saying something in love, a lot of people didn't say anything. And so I found myself depressed, thinking
mm,
that I was alone on the journey. And I wasn't because on my walks, and I would walk around the local university that's here, and I would see these people and we would just wave at first. And then we decided, okay, I see you here all the time. Let's just walk and get to know each other. And that's what happened. And I found a sense of community out there walking. And that helps because it keeps you accountable and it
mm.
helps you stay on track by saying, hey, I messed up today and I ate some cookies. I needed that comfort, but I'm out here walking to make sure that I don't get stuck in it. So having that sense of community is fine. And it all starts with the decision to do better. What advice would you give listeners who want to make that change but feel like they're alone in the decision that they have to make?
Yeah, I would say meetup.com is a great one. Like you'll be surprised what kind of like groups you can meet on there that it's a lot of like-minded people. Or even checking out like your local community. But most importantly, like if you do find yourself, maybe you're more introverted and you would rather go on the journey alone, have grace with yourself. Write like whatever you're thinking about, write it down. Like, what do I want to do? And when you write that down, see what can be accomplished, like be realistic. And it's
Mhm.
okay. It's okay if you can't get everything done. It's okay. But just have grace, because we do mess up. When I was transitioning to vegan, I went cold turkey and I found myself doing great. And then the week after, here I am with chicken wings, So, you like, have grace, and it takes time. Just like it took time to install something, it takes time to let go of something. So,
Mhm. And that's absolutely right. You have to have that grace for yourself. And you also have to have self-compassion to know that I'm not going to be 100% every day. I'm not going to always get it right, but at least I can start over. I don't want to stay stuck in that. So you're absolutely right. And having grace for yourself, guys, is just being kind to yourself, speaking to yourself in love, no judgment. Don't use that negative self-talk. That is grace. Those things help. And those things are pivotal in the life that you have in your lifestyle. Um, and speaking of lifestyle, and I know that you said you've been vegan for 5 years. Like what started the journey though?
so in 2016, I was just in not the best space. You know how I feel like it was just like rock bottom for my life. But I feel like, when you hit rock bottom, something's about to
To
happen.
change.
But yeah, I was just eating my feelings, and I just wasn't in the most healthiest space. And what really got to me was because I was working remotely at that time, and my boss, he invited us to Finger Lakes, and he took us to this farm. And I'm a big animal lover, so I was so excited because I was like, there's animals here, I get to pet them and stuff like that. And the owner was like, oh, I see that you love animals, let's go check out the manufacturer aspect of the farm. And I was like, sure. And it was not a happy moment for me because of how like the animals were and the smell and everything. So between being at my lowest, and really one of my coping mechanisms was binge eating, and then seeing the animals and it wasn't like what I thought it would be, was like, I have to do something to lose this weight, but also to have some compassion for the animals as well.
Got it. I love that. I mean, and I'm I'm not vegan, but I don't consume a lot of meat. But I do love my chicken. I do. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. And sometimes I'll do like challenges for myself, and I'll do like plant-based for like a couple of weeks and green smoothies, and I do a lot of juicing now. So it's just slowly but surely. I'm pretty sure that it's coming. I just have to be more disciplined, I should say. And I don't miss the meat at all. I don't. But sometimes my craving, when you are emotional and you just need those things that provide that comfort for you, you tend to resort into the things that you grew up
Yes.
comforting you, or the things that your parents probably made for you, and that makes you feel good. So yeah, I'm glad that I hate that you saw that the animals were being a certain way, but I'm glad that you were able to find something that works for you, and you were able to look inside yourself and say, hey, how can I help myself as well as the environment? Because if we don't do something, this earth is about to just blow up with us in it, on it, I should
Right.
say.
That's
Like,
right.
oh my goodness.
That's right.
And look, guys, we're not trying to scare anybody, but you should be scared. Global warming is true. Like, do y'all not feel it?
I felt it this
Okay.
summer.
I live in Louisiana, so I've been feeling it a lot.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You feeling it. You're feeling it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So you told everybody how to connect, how to support, how to donate, and things like that. Um, what's next for Bertha?
Oh my gosh. We're working on getting some land. So we want to open a pet-friendly homeless shelter so that way
Hmm.
we can actually help those people just have like a safe haven. Because as you guys may know, there's animal shelters and there's shelters. There's not really a lot of pet friendly shelters. So we want to be able to offer that in North Carolina. As well as on that land, we want to be able to grow our own produce to help the community and have a community center that people can come and we do like different activities and stuff. But currently we're partnering with Gotta Be Scotty. So we currently have the $25 produce bags. that you could get some produce, as much as you could stuff in that bag for $25. And we're moving towards in a few months a pay what you can farmers market, because I feel like that will also be able to help assist the community as well. So I'm super excited.
That is so awesome. Like, you are so dope, like, for real. Like, keep being you, man. I feel the energy through this screen. It's amazing. So I'm so glad to be connected with you. I have enjoyed this interview so much. It's more like a conversation. It wasn't really an interview, it was like a conversation among friends. So on a personal note, and I like to ask this question to all my guests, what would your now self tell your younger self about how are you feeling? Like something that we talked about today.
Mm. Don't be afraid to be you, you know? Don't be afraid. And that's, I feel like, whoo, I feel emotional. And I say that because I was having a conversation with my friend earlier about that. A lot of times when you grow up, you're yourself, but then when you go out into society and then people say or may install their fears or their thoughts or their criticism, this and that you end up, if you consume it in a way that you're not able to release it, you end up thinking that you are those things. And for a while, I thought I was this, I thought I was that, thought I was this, and it took a lot of like unlearning, and I'm still working through that and being more comfortable with just saying I'm me, and I'm going to attract the right type of people that are like-minded. And I would definitely tell my younger self that like it's okay to be yourself, and you're gonna be fine.
Absolutely. I absolutely love it. And if more people just embrace the being who they are unapologetically, this world would be such a better place because that judgment will just stop. Shaming and all this stuff will just be like, dang, don't nobody care. You do you and I'm gonna do me. Stop with the negative. How is that serving a purpose for you to tear somebody else down?
Mm-hmm.
And my whole philosophy is if it doesn't affect me, why am I giving that energy to it?
Yes,
So,
I saw this thing. It said, if you are the type of person that may be empathetic, learn to observe, not absorb. And I was like, oh my gosh,
ooh,
I
I
needed
needed to hear that. Yes. Oh, that gave me goosebumps, like for real,
that.
because I'm an empath for real. And I was in a space a couple of weeks ago, and I told my sister, I said, I need to get out of here. I feel too much. She said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Let me just take a couple of deep breaths so I can get okay." And she helped. She like touched my hand just to reassure me that she was with me, and that meant a lot. That really meant a lot. And so we just have to be more mindful that not everybody is where we are on this journey. You never know what someone is dealing with, so show yourself friendly. A smile can change many people's lives. You just never know. So that is one thing that I will leave you listeners with today. Just make sure that you are mindful in the things that you say and do to yourself first, as well as other people. Um, Life is too short to be dwelling on anything that doesn't serve us in a positive way. With that being said, do you have any last words that you would like to leave the listeners with today before we close out?
Just be beautiful. Just continue. And I'm not talking about like the look aspect. I'm talking about internally, and like how you said, like being mindful with what you say. A lot of times it could be difficult to be able to talk and have conversations. And I just was like, wait, I just thought of that. But speaking of just briefly real quick about communication, I think like we have to be comfortable with like the people that we're around. So I think a
Mhm.
lot of people confuse confrontation with communication. And I think like it's important to be okay with standing up for your voice.
Mhm.
I just felt like I was like, let me say that because I think
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people shield themselves because they don't want to look a certain way or they don't like confrontation. Because I don't like confrontation, so I hid myself a lot growing up. But now here I am with the podcast, so I have to make sure that I am giving a positive voice to the people that needs it. And I want all of the guests that I have to come on, like yourself, to have a positive message. And you are doing it with your organization. So again, I thank you for coming to kick it with me today. Beartha is a beautiful, beautiful organization. With that being said, you guys, you have been listening to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and all that other shit. Make sure that you tune in every Thursday for a new episode. And remember to be yourself unapologetically. Love yourself so that you can set the stage for how other people should love on you. That way, the wrong people don't they don't have access to love on you. I was once that person that didn't love myself, so I allowed other people who I didn't need to have loving on me. Not anymore. That has changed, and I'm so glad for growth. But until next time, thank you for tuning in. Purple hugs.
I love it.